In this video, I want to talk about identities in Linux. So, and the first useful command for that is the command who am I. Who am I will tell me who am I in this system, which is the user I've used for authenticating myself in this system. Okay, this is user. Okay, and it's not usually you know which user have to use to enter the system, but when you are working with remote system or using some commands that we will see following, it's it's not always so easy to know who are you. So with this command, you can see if you are root, you are user, if you have changed your your identity to another user. So this is the first command that we use. The second is the ID. It gives us more information about our user. We can see here the user. Here is the same that who am I, the user, the ID of the user, and we have the main group of that user. This is a group called user2, and all the groups that our user belongs. So our user belong to all those groups. Okay, ID has some a lot of options too. So for example, we can say ID groups only to get the main group, or ID groups to get the ID of all the groups, or with the name. And that's useful if we plan to use that order in some scripts, for example. So here with ID, we have advanced information about who am I. And another important command here is switch user command. Switch user, the order is SU or SU. With that order, we can change our identity to another user. So for example, if I want to become the user Elmo, I can run this command. It will ask me for the password for the user Elmo, and if I know the password, I can log. I can change my identity to that user. So now I'm Elmo. I'm not user anymore. All the commands that I run from now on will be run as the Elmo user. And the switch user order. So for example, with exit, I can return to my previous user. Okay. With switch user command, we usually want to open a login cell. So with this parameter, we open a login cell. It's like we have entered the system with that user. It will change to the home directory of that user. We open the cell for that user, and it will behave as a login cell. We will see the difference between a normal cell and a login cell later in the course. Okay, with that, it's the same. Sorry. If you don't put a username here, it tries to switch to the root user, and we can't do that because the root user, remember, is disabled and it doesn't have a password. So I will change to Elmo again. Okay. We have a login password. It's more or less the same, but there are some variables, system variables that have changed and everything. Okay. Switch user. And we have another order, very important order. We have used that order before. Is the sudo order. Okay. With this order, it allows us to run some command as the root user. So for example, we did that to show the maybe cat is too long. The first line of the shadow file, for example, I can do that. And the difference between sudo and switch user command is that it asks for our own password. Remember that switch user asks for the new user password. Here it's asking us for our password. And if I do that, we can see we can run this command, only this command, as a super user. So for example, if I run, I will remove that. If I run this, Okay, I'm the root user because the whoami is executing as the root user. And you can also have a login cell for the root user using the I parameter. If I do that, okay, I'm, I have a cell and now I'm the root user. Okay, all the commands that I run here until I exit the cell will be run as the root. So for example, who am I or ID. Okay, I will be the root user until I tap exit and I return to my normal identity. Okay, the sudo command is very important in Linux system. And the configuration of sudo is can be very complex because you can allow some users to run just a single order or just a group of users or an order with some parameters. And you can configure if it should ask your password each time you run an order with sudo, or keep the password for some time. As you can see, for example, if I run the sudo order, it doesn't ask the password because it keeps the password for a time. Okay, and the configuration of the sudo command is in this file is etc sudoers file. Okay, I can't see that, of course, because I need to run this with the root user. And this is a complex file. You have here a lot of options, but the important thing here is that you know that you can perform some configuration here for allowing only some orders from some users. And that's all about users identity, changing users, and executing orders as root.